Oh, now the notifications are coming through. I've just had a notification.
Cat's here.
Hello, Cat. How's it going?
And Philip.
Phil, welcome, mate. Wow,
Ryan, hello.
your chat's way in front of mine.
Steve. Wow.
I'm just sending updates, guys.
Yeah, these are saying they got it from Discord.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
That's weird.
Welcome, everyone. So,
hello.
YouTube still appears to be broken, so...
when is it not?
Yeah, when is it not? It's always nice for YouTube to break. Right, I'm going to stick my phone on charge. Right, we're ready now. Welcome, everyone. How are we all doing tonight? So, as you all know, we are here with Jason. Right, let me just... add Jason and Sarah. Hello. Right, there we go. We're live. What do we have planned for tonight? Just talking away, just nattering.
Yeah, we got two good topics.
Yeah, we got a few good topics, and then we'll see where that takes us. So welcome everyone to On the Mic with Jason's Electronics Repair. That's your host, that guy there. It's backwards.
Yeah,
that one. It's backwards. Well, apparently I can see it on the right hand side, yet I've got to point that way towards my door. So yeah, that always works.
Yeah, it's all flipped. It looks flipped on my screen too.
Yeah, it's weird. Hopefully it shows up all right for everyone else though. Hopefully everyone else can see it. But yeah, welcome guys. So as you all know, first and foremost, I'm cutting the live streams on my main channel just because it's severely affecting my channel. So I've cut the live streams down to just Saturdays, and I actually discussed this with Jason weeks ago, actually. A couple of months ago, actually, because Jason was streaming more often than he was uploading, and he noticed it. You noticed a massive slowdown, right?
Yeah, it was like 1 or 2 subscribers a week I was getting.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back up with videos, I'm at like 7 to 10 a day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's I was up to what 200 a day, something like that. 200 subscribers a day.
Yeah, it was like 4 yesterday. Yeah, and then you were getting what 4 yesterday?
Yeah, and then yesterday I had like 4. It's absolutely ridiculous. If I look on my analytics, my views are the same. I'm still getting around about 220,000 views a month, which is an incredible amount of views. So 220,000 views in the last 28 days.
How's that PS5 one doing? Because I was able to watch it this morning on my iPad, and it was only at like 2,300 views. That's a little low for a PS5.
Yeah, I mean, it's on average. It's number 4 out of the last 10 that I've published. At 2,900, so it's 100 away from the PlayStation 4 Long Pulsing Blue Light of Death. I think that was a RAM replacement. I think that was a RAM replacement video. Yeah, so that one's doing okay. I kind of expected that one to do good anyway. But then, you know, it's not doing as good as I expected. I expected it to be number 1 or number 2, but it's not. So my channel is definitely still affected at the minute. But I was watching, I think I sent you the link. I was watching a video that Lewis Rossman did about a year ago. And he said he had the exact same issue where he had thousands of subscribers every single day, and then all of a sudden just dead, nothing, absolutely squat. And he was actually losing subscribers, which is what I've been experiencing, apart from the fact that I've had, you know, like 4 or 5 subscribers a day compared to the day before. So I don't understand.
Yeah, I've heard that from other channels just across all genres.
Yeah, I think it's just YouTube, but
family's good. Sarah, how's your kids doing?
They're doing good, mate. Thanks. I can answer that one.
Yeah, I bet you can. Jenny's cooking dinner right now.
Yeah, so let's welcome a few people in chat. So we've got Phil, we've got Newbie, Richard, Kat, Adrian, Bash, Steve, Ryan, Callum. Callum, great job Saturday night, mate. Brilliant job. We've got Andrew, and I think that's it for now.
Well,
and Technic, Technic as well. Welcome, mate.
We have as many viewers as I get on one of my repair live streams.
Yeah, but everybody likes me more. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
makes sense. Except for right now.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. People seem to like the just videos where we're just talking shit. Like I can swear as well now because I ain't even monetized on this channel. Yes, I can say what the fuck I like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I can say whatever I like. Dustin and Finks, welcome, guys.
Glad I'm not streaming it to my channel now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you demonetized. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you demonetized.
I had a weird thing happen today. You remember how I had the self-certification?
Yes.
I don't have it anymore.
Right. Check your.
And I didn't get any kind of. I have no restrictions, marks, or anything on my channel.
Ah, that's strange.
Yeah. The 2 videos I uploaded, one was supposed to go out today.
Yeah.
They're still processing
since
this morning.
Okay.
And
maybe it's because
took 3 or 4 hours to get monetized.
Maybe it's because you're working on. Maybe it's because you're filming in 1440 now, so they're just doing extra checks. Because you're filming in 1440p, so that could be the reason why.
Yeah, because it's the first 2 videos I've uploaded that were 1440.
Yeah, so it could well be that.
But it gave me the self-check form to fill out uploading the video, like where it asks you to check whatever.
And then you submit it, and it should do it automatically.
And it came back okay, but then when I went to publish it at a couple hours ago, it was still running the checks.
That's odd. That's very odd.
It was very odd. So it was again, these videos were supposed to go up yesterday, or one of them was supposed to go up yesterday. Then I had the file fiasco, and they didn't export. Then I went to do it this morning, and last I checked before I came out here, they were still processing.
Okay, it could be the 1440p thing.
Yeah, they're still processing HD version.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. What you can do is you can just set a new upload. Because if it's become corrupt for any reason whatsoever, like you've lost connection for 30 seconds or something, what you can do is just set it, send a new upload of the same file, and it'll basically fix the old file, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it wasn't the upload issue; it's the processing. It's processed in standard definition. It's the high definition and the 2K that's not processing yet.
Huh.
And this happened to New Retro Repairs a couple weeks ago.
I don't think I've ever had that.
He sent me a message about it.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah, he sent me a message about it, that his video was processing for the HD version for a good 4 or 5 hours before it.
I don't think I've ever had that.
I've had it happen before, and I've just set it from private to unlisted and then back to privete.
And it's worked.
Like 20 minutes later, and about 20 minutes later it worked.
Oh, okay.
But today that didn't work. So
that's odd.
Whether this one is HD or not, it's going to go live in the morning tomorrow. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I got too much to do.
I think one of your biggest problems is you was filming in a really, really high bitrate. So YouTube takes a long time to process if you're filming in a high bitrate. I edited it down in Premiere Pro to the 264 thing. Yeah, but it might still have a very, very high bitrate, because even your edited videos are what, 30 gigabyte after editing?
I don't think they're that big.
See, mine are like 2.5 gig, because I'm only editing. Well, my bitrate's only set to like 6,000 kilobits per second. So
28-minute video, 2.23 gigs, then a 20-minute video, 1.58 gigs.
That's odd.
And that's 1440.
That's odd.
And that's the 2 videos that are not processing.
I think it could just be a YouTube issue then, because it's. I mean, we've all having issues. Every single one of us are having issues with YouTube. So I think it could be a YouTube issue, to be honest.
I think YouTube wasn't ready for the fallout of everything opening back up, and they were relying too much on the extra views during the pandemic, and then now they're like, oh wow, now we're not getting all this extra money, so what do we do?
That could have turned a lot of servers off. Like they scale based on whatever kind of traffic they're anticipating.
Because YouTube itself, the employees understand that the rise in views were due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
But the YouTube algorithm isn't going to recognize that.
Well, no, because
they're going to see a drop in viewership and then think that they need to the algorithm's going to change.
Yeah.
Basically.
It basically manipulates itself to whatever it thinks is best.
Yeah, and it's going to try to figure out why it's not getting the viewership that it was getting before.
Yeah.
And I think that's messing it up. I think it's too smart for its own good.
I think the fact that they're pushing all of the short videos, like all of they want to push shorts. They basically want to turn it into TikTok. Like,
yeah,
I've got it disabled on my phone. I use for most stuff. I'll open the video if I want to watch a video that I really like and I really like the creator. I'll open the video in YouTube's main app and then I'll close it and open up YouTube Advanced after the advert's played, if that makes sense. Because then the creator still gets paid, but then I don't have to see all of that bullshit that they usually give me with like the short videos and stuff like that, and the stupid recommendations that I don't want to see, because I get to control a lot more of what I want to see in YouTube Advanced than I do on the YouTube app. It gives you more freedom. So YouTube Advanced is a lot better, but I still like to make sure that the ads play for the creator, because obviously being a creator, I understand how important the ads are to play. So I kind of like try and balance it all. Balance it all so as the creator still gets paid, but then I don't see all of them stupid recommendations that I usually see. And autoplay never works on the YouTube main app, whereas on YouTube Advanced, autoplay works. So
I can't stand autoplay.
I prefer autoplay because if I'm, let's say for example, because I listen to a lot of like rainfall videos and stuff at night when I'm trying to sleep. So
yeah.
If I'm listening to that sort of stuff and you've got like an hour video and I haven't quite fallen asleep, but I want it to still carry on playing, it still carries on playing with autoplay turned on because it just goes to the next one.
They have like 14-hour long sleep videos, right?
Yeah, but that pisses Sarah off, so I kind of can't do that.
Yeah. Jenny listens to that stuff. I can't listen to the rain stuff anymore. We had a huge storm this morning, and I woke up early, and it actually put me back to sleep because it was storming outside the house. It was nice. It was crazy. I live in a block home, and it shook the home.
You imagine being in this workshop when it starts raining with the metal roof, like because I've got a tin roof. Like it's wooden, but then I've got the tin sheets over the top of it. You imagine being in here when it rains.
Yeah, I've been in those tin roofed homes. It is loud.
Oh yeah,
it is.
I have to stop filming. Let's put it that way. I have to stop filming.
Yeah, it's raining here. Not too much, but it's raining. It's been raining all day.
Right, let's say hello to Micro, j.e.r gamer, Justin. I think I've said hello to Justin. Kaz, Steve, welcome. Finks, I think I've said hello to Finks. Justin said YouTube could have the knickers in a twist. Yeah, YouTube would just be little bitches.
YouTube's got their issues with stuff.
Yeah, it's I just forgot that I'm meant to be putting a safe bridge on a PS4 Pro, and I left it in my pocket, so that's not a good sign.
Nice.
It's only a £15 chip, but never mind. Check out what I'm working on for a video, guys. Not that. It's a Mac Boom. That's the new name for it.
MacBook.
Mac Boom. That's the new name for it. Me and Vince come up with that name.
That's the one with the interesting SSD, right?
Yeah, the SSD that looks very similar to the Xbox Series S SSD. It looks very similar. The weird thing I don't get is, like with this SSD in particular, is look at that. So it looks like a PCI Express slot. Like it actually detaches from the board. It looks like a PCI Express slot, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
Except it's going to be Apple. proprietary.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really weird how they've got like a breakout board and then they've got that onto there. Why not just put that connector on there? That don't make any sense to me. Like,
yeah, I don't understand the.
Like, I bet it would have cost them more to put this SSD like this with the, with the separate. Like, they've got to make a separate board, like, which is a completely different design, and then they've got to spend more money in production to actually cut this board out as well, which is wasting more of the board as well, because they can't use. Like, I bet they've literally cut this board off and thought, oh no, we'll use this extra little bit of board to make the SSD, or they've forgot to put the SSD on, and they've had to add this after the circuit's been designed, so they've basically just cut it out and made it look deliberate.
They probably did.
It's really strange.
Who knows? Engineering a board. They draw up a schematic first, and then they run it through this board computing software
to make sure it works.
They do all that first, but they use these generating things that generates an auto layout.
Yeah,
and you can tell that all these boards are auto laid out. There's no engineer going there after the fact, and
it's all diagonal lines
and moving things to make it more efficient, or because it takes a lot of man hours to take a board that you rendered in a board PCB software and move individual traces and components. It's easier to just draw a schematic and then upload it, and then it converts it, and then you print it
and get it auto-routed.
It's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of man hours to move one component, and then have to adjust everything. But you get a more efficient, more compact, and an easier to repair board that way.
Yeah, that is true.
But if you're popping out new models every year, it's not going to be cost effective to sit there and micromanage every board layout.
Yeah. Micro said, "What year is this Mac Boom?" It's a 2017 A1708, and this was screwed up by another repair shop. So apparently this worked when it went to another repair shop, and now it don't. And as far as I could tell, the board had never been taken out. So what the hell have they done to this? I will never know. But it looks clean as hell. There's one capacitor which looks a little bit shoddy, but other than that, the board itself is literally not even a speck of dust inside this machine. It's pristine clean. I do not have a clue. I reckon they've put the wrong charger in, and possibly blown one of the CD3215s. So I'm going to order some CD3215s for this. But at the minute, it's looking like the shop is on the hook for another board. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can get it working. But that's part of a video, so let's
I got
let's hide it away.
I made this little PSP battery pack I can plug into.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Power supply that I can test PSPs. But my current project is what the topic of today's podcast is mainly about. Is I have this Nintendo Switch that came in for an LCD connector.
Yeah.
And I quoted for an LCD connector, and it has an orange screen of death.
I remember you mentioning that one, yeah.
And just before we were on here, I was looking at the Wi-Fi IC, and you guys can see that it was most definitely reflowed.
Yeah.
And we tested some caps around there, and it has shorted caps.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was like here.
Yep, that one there.
That one. And
no, it was the one next to it. The one at the bottom is the one next to it. Yeah. The one that one that you pointed out first is meant to be short, just for the record. But yeah, that had definitely been reflowed before. It looks like there's some bridges under the pins, bridges under the chip itself.
So yeah, so I got this. It's a simple, easy LCD connector, and I charged for an LCD connector.
Yeah.
I get the LCD connector on, works fine. It displays, but it goes orange screen. Not when you turn it on.
Yeah.
It boots.
Mm-hmm.
It has no touch, but when you go to connect a controller wirelessly, it goes orange screen. And surprisingly, it will dock until you connect a controller to it.
So basically, the pins for the Bluetooth, the pads for the Bluetooth are screwed, basically. So that's probably what that is. But I think you wanted to talk about, what was it, requoting or...
Yeah, so what do you do? What do you do in a situation like this? So you quoted for an LCD connector.
Yeah.
You put the connector on flawlessly.
Yeah.
Or you mess it up 3 times and do it 3 more times.
Yeah.
And you come up, it's got an orange screen of death, no touch, which is probably related.
Yeah.
And power flex issues, which is probably related too.
Yeah.
How do you approach that situation? Do you how would you fix the orange screen of death and then tell the customer, oh, look, it had an orange screen of death too, it's going to be this much now? Or do you say, hey, I fixed the LCD connector, but it has an orange screen of death, this is how much to fix the orange screen of death?
Yeah.
And then if they don't want to fix it, like, you already did the LCD connector, so how does that work out?
See, that's the problem, because on one hand, you've got a no fix, no fee. Well, depending on your policy, but on one hand, you've got a no fix, no fee in my case. But on the other hand, you've already done work that it was sent in for. So you've done your job. So it does put you in a bit of an awkward predicament. But what I usually do, if it's business to business, so if it's Console Repair London, for example, I'll just fix it and then just bill Console Repair London and say, look, you've had an orange screen of death at the same time. There's the final bill, and then he deals with it. If he takes a loss on that, that's his problem. Then he's sent it to me without verifying whether any prior repair attempts have been done. But if it's a normal customer, I'll generally contact the customer. So let's say, for example, the PS5 video I just released. The PS5 customer, she had an issue with the USB port, but then it also had an issue with the hard drive. Now, even though I didn't charge her for that, the same thing applies. I generally contact the customer first and say, look, I've done this, but now it's got this problem, which couldn't have been identified before I'd fixed this problem. So because it's a prior repair attempt, I would at least charge for the LCD connector. If they didn't want it fixed, I'd say, well, look, you're paying for the LCD connector no matter what, because that's not my fault that it's got an orange screen of death. Someone else has reflowed it. It's very visible that it's been reflowed. So you're paying for the LCD connector. If you don't pay for it, you're not going to get the console back. I know that seems a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, if you've let someone else mess with it and then you haven't told the second technician because you thought they wouldn't find out, then you've lied to them. You've been dishonest in the first place, so it's kind of their fault. I mean, if it was a situation where they said to me, look, I've bought this on eBay, it's supposed to have an LCD issue, then I'd probably just charge them like a small fee to cover the half an hour it's going to take me to change the LCD connector. I'd probably charge them like a half price or something. And then I'd say you can either pay half price for the LCD connector and just leave it, or, because I've obviously spent time, the LCD connector costs money. It could have been a job where I was actually making money. Or I'd say, well, you could always get it fixed and I'll do a discount and I'll do the LCD connector at X amount, like £20 extra or something on top of the Wi-Fi IC. Because it's an all-in-one repair, because obviously I don't put the board back together until I know it's fully working. Because it's all-in-one job, I'd try and discount it just to keep the costs down. If they was being honest and they genuinely didn't know that it had prior repair attempts. But if they knew, then they're at least paying for the LCD connector and they're paying full price for the entire repair because they've intentionally lied. And
see, this customer sent in 4 consoles that I was given pictures of ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I said that on the 3 that were butchered by M92, it was a $35 bench fee no matter what.
Yeah.
But the LCD connector, I had no way of knowing it had an orange screen.
Yeah.
Without and it docks.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's I mean, if you if let's say because you've got a bench fee on them because you knew there was prior repair attempts. So I'd say to him, probably, if he doesn't want the orange screen of death fixing, then he's still going to pay the bench fee anyway. In that case, I'd probably just say the bench fee that you agreed up front, because you'd agreed up front to a bench fee anyway. But then at the same time, you could do the orange screen of death and then it could have another issue. That's the problem. And then you've spent...
Yeah, like every one of these, the M92 has been fixed. And it's got blue screen of death.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't...
Weird stuff.
It might be a bit too much. Because there's this concept of if you break it, you own it. And let's say, for example, if you fix the M92 and then it's got a blue screen of death, they're going to blame you for that. They're going to say, oh, you've installed it wrong, or you've shorted something out or something. So, or if, for example, you fix it and then 2 weeks later something else completely unrelated dies, in our mind, we're thinking, well, that's unrelated. We're technicians. We know the difference between, like M92 failing and then the Wi-Fi IC failing 2 weeks later. We know that's unrelated, but the customer don't. That's the problem. So
that's true.
They're going to blame you, and they're going to try and call warranty on it, because that's just the way customers are. All they're going to think is you was the last one that messed with it. You've caused it. So it might be a bit too much to warranty. I'd probably say I'd personally leave it and just say no. There's too much wrong with it. You need to pay the bench fee and just cut your losses. That's what I'd probably say.
Yeah, it's getting close to that. I got one more to go through. After this, I got one more. I got to slap an M92 on and fix some shorts. But if this one is another one, because he provided me with the M92 chips, so a $35 bench fee to put it on there to see what else is wrong with it. I don't mind doing that. But if this third one pops up with a blue screen of death, the whole lot's going to be a no fix.
Yeah.
And he can pay the bench fees, because they all were told, they weren't charging. I messed with M92. Here's the photos. And I said, that's fine.
Yeah, but the problem with photos is photos are not diagnostics. Like, you can't diagnose based on a photo.
But they all came in with M92 wrecked.
Yeah.
So, I told him, look, it's going to be, he provided the chips, so it was a flat $35 to undo the mess that was M92.
Well, if that's what he's agreed upon, if he's agreed on $35 just to undo the screw up that he's done, then if it ends up being a no fix, then at least you've got something out of it for a little bit of time. But you spent a long time on them for what, $150. That's a long time that you spent. You spent what, at least 10 hours. That's well below minimum wage.
After fixing it, I diagnosed it, and then the quote was $390 to fix the issues.
Yeah, but then once you diagnosed it further, it was looking at like 500, 600 for 4 devices.
Like $590, $650, and it's like $625 if I take away the bench fees.
Yeah, see.
So it's like a $750 repair.
Yeah.
If I still charge the bench fees, and that's discounting everything. If I took each individual thing wrong, it's $1,600 in repairs.
Yeah, because I gave you a ballpark figure of discounted repairs, and without the discount, it was somewhat ridiculous. Well above the value of the console for some of them. It's ridiculous. Let me know what time you're finishing so I can do food. I'm not really hungry, sir, to be honest. Let's say hello to a few people in chat. We've got Rose Electronics, welcome. Steve, welcome. John, Matthew, Clint, and Angela, welcome. I'm just going to respond to chat a minute. Nick has messaged, or emailed rather. I assume he's probably watching in chat, probably lurking. So, hey to Nick if he's there. He's just emailed me. Apparently Nick said, I'm assuming you all know who Nick is by now from Unsociable Experience. He said he's starting this thing where he's naming a day after people that he has a podcast with or people that he looks up to. So now apparently there's a dank day every year, and we've got to make it a thing. It's pretty funny.
Isn't that April 4th or April 20th? 420? Dank Day?
I'm not sure. Whenever we did the podcast, it was the day we did the podcast. He said his name and it Dank Day. Just let him starve. Thanks, Angela. Love you too. You're not having my Sarah, Steve. Steve said I'll have his Sarah. You're not having my Sarah. No, she's mine.
No, I claim that.
Oh yeah, she's Jason's. She's Jason's.
Oh, that's funny.
What's your favourite device to work on, Phil and Jason? Mine personally is probably the Switch.
I would say the Switch too, but I'll tell you, these PSPs are fun.
Yeah, but you haven't really got much base for comparison, though, have you? Because you haven't done any PS4s. You've done what, one Xbox One?
No, I've done three
actually,
PS4s.
No, my new favourite device to work on is MacBooks. Actually, saying that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I like MacBooks. I showed Jason up just before the stream. Actually, I showed him how to replace a 201 capacitor, 201 resistor with no scope. And it went.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It went pretty smoothly. So now Jason's going to try and change a 201 resistor on stream live in front of however many people we've got. 26 people watching.
I can't see. I have horrible eyesight.
So do I.
Horrible eyesight.
So have I.
Yeah. I want to see what I want to see what that would even look like without a microscope.
This is going to be interesting.
Let me just see.
Show your overhead cam.
Can I do my reading glasses?
You can use glasses. I'll let you use glasses.
I'll see what I can get by with my reading glasses here. Okay. So just so we're clear, all I have on is reading glasses.
Oh, okay.
See, I got my reading glasses on.
I'll believe you. Thousands wouldn't.
Right. Those are tiny. There's no way.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, that's not even 0201. That's a 403.
Is it possible to update the Switch memory? You can, but you have to clone the chip and change the serial. It's not possible to just do a straight swap, unfortunately.
All right, I turned on the hot air.
Okay. This is going to be fun. That's cheating. That's zooming in.
I'm not going to look up. I'm going to be looking down.
You say that.
It's not even going to focus, is it?
You say that.
Is it focused?
I'll just spill coffee all over myself.
There's no way this is happening. Is this even set right? All right.
I'm getting new focals next week so I can see you better. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see me any better.
I would recommend that. Can't see the airflow.
Right. Do the top one on the left-hand side, the one I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Because then you've only got the bottom ones to worry about. Adjust for wind. Bang. I think he's looking up at his screen, I do.
No, I'm not. I don't think it's much size difference with the screen. I can't even tell if the solder's flowing. Wow, the flux is bubbling under the RAM IC first.
Oh, no.
Well, it doesn't have a shield on it.
Oh, dear.
There's no way you can do this. Even though I did watch you do it.
Yeah. You saw me do it. I'll do it again.
Okay. I got it off.
You got it off?
Yeah. Let's see if I knocked anything. I'll switch to the scope for this to see if I knocked anything.
One eye looking up, yeah. Definitely, Andrew.
No, I was not looking up.
You didn't knock anything. Now you got to put it back.
Do I even still have it in my tweezers?
You've got it.
Okay, I do have it. All right. All right, now I got to put it back.
Adjust for wind. Oh, you dropped it.
No, I didn't.
Jason, your YouTube notification just came through. Yeah, don't breathe.
I can't even tell if it's right side up.
Mine tombstoned and I still got it on.
Okay. All right. I'm going to add flux and hope for the best.
I can tell a big clarity between... I can tell a big difference between his clarity and yours. What do you mean, Justin? I'm not sure what you mean there, mate. That looks like it's actually gone on, to be honest.
I don't know. It's crooked. It's going to bug me.
Mine was crooked. I don't care if it's crooked. Oh, there's no bot setup on this one.
Oh, I think it popped into place.
Oh, it looks good.
It popped into place.
It looks good.
All right.
It's on there. It's on there. He did it.
I ain't doing that again.
Nice. He did it. All right, he wins. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't win. We drew.
You did it way faster than I did.
Yeah, I did actually. Okay, now do a 1005 on the Wi-Fi IC.
No, I'm not doing that.
Why?
I barely saw that.
I'll do. A headache. I'll attempt to 1005 on the Wi-Fi IC. I'll attempt to 1005.
What's 1005 by the Wi-Fi IC?
Well, they're a little bit small.
Is it the blue ones?
No. Yes. The blue ones are, but you can't do a blue one because they're visible. That you can see them very visibly. That's cheating.
So, are you saying that this is an 0201 and that's a 0155?
Yep.
005?
Yep.
I don't know. That looks like an 0201.
No, they're 1005s.
No, it's not. There's no way.
It's a 1005. Get your calipers.
I'm going to get out an 0201 capacitor.
Go on then.
Or a resistor.
I'm pretty sure it's a 1005. They look huge on the microscope. They do look huge on the microscope.
Okay, no, they're 0201s. This is an 0201 I just dropped on the board.
Are they 0201s?
Yeah, they're 0201s. That's an 0201 right here.
No, they're not. Look at the width.
But it's the same.
No. Look at the width. Look at the width.
The width is a little bit off, but they're the same length.
No. That's a 1005, mate. Honestly.
No, look. If you look at this resistor right here, this resistor, it's the same exact size as this one.
Yeah, it's the same height. Well, the same length.
No, look. It's the same length and the same width.
Oh, yeah, so it is.
A 01005 is 0.1 millimeter by 0.05 millimeters.
Oh, you could be right. I got told there was 1005s.
No. Maybe on the newer revision, but not on this one.
Maybe. Because I've got the HAD board. I don't know where it is, but I've got the HAD board. Sandy said incoming magic smoke. Technic Nerd said Pav Puller.
I wouldn't put it past that I floated half of that RAM IC though.
Steve said, "Well done, Jason. I can't do it with glasses." He's used. Jason's used to finding his Todger though, so Jason's all right. All right, now reboard an IC with no.
How big? Like what kind of IC?
Any IC.
With a stencil?
By hand.
No, I'm not doing that.
By hand.
I don't have anything but not 0.25 millimeter stuff.
I do. I got Wi-Fi ICs off a PS5, PS4.
Unless I go dig through and pull a RAM IC off of something I got sitting in the back, I don't have anything that I would be willing to reball by hand at all.
Jason's handbag's in the freezer, Angela. Yeah, I've got the Wi-Fi IC from the PS4s, so I could technically reball an IC with no.
That's 0.76. It's easy.
Actually 1 millimeter, but the 0.76 I just use. But you know what? The craziest thing is, when we talk about 0.76, it sounds huge, but when people say to us like, well, I'm going to be, how big is 0.76? And you're like 0.76 millimeters. Look, to think that we can work with things less than a millimeter in size without microscopes is insane.
Well, seeing how one of those 0.76 millimeter balls is bigger than an 0201 component,
true.
I think you could do it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think you would
very
have
true.
No issues doing it.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that without a doubt. I could do that with 0.5, I think.
Here, actually, I will show you how big a...
Have I even got any Wi-Fi ICs? Yeah, there you go. Have I got any? And I'll just pull out a tub with like 5 of them. 6 even. There's one reballed. Look, that looks absolutely huge to me. Like the balls on that.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
The balls on that look pretty huge. But yeah, I could reball that. In fact, I've done it on stream actually.
Yeah, here you go. There is a
1005.
5 and a 201. Oh, 201 is right here. And that's a dump.
Okay, so I guess I'm pulling an iPhone board out soon then.
Yeah, just pull out an iPhone board out. It's loaded with teeny tiny stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I can't even see those without the scope.
I can see them, I just probably couldn't work with them. Not without the scope.
I mean, if you look at just the board, you know, from... I mean,
yeah,
it just looks like...
Yeah, you can see there's thousands of components on there.
You know, even if I zoom in to the level of zoom that I was at for the Switch, I mean, you still can you can't even make out the... I mean, they're right in there. You can't even make out those components there.
There's 2 components there.
Yeah, but it's hard to make out, and that's with zoom on a camera.
True. I didn't find out who the generous donor was who donated the chair, mate, sadly.
It looks like a nice chair.
It's a very nice chair. Very nice chair. It's got the cushions on it as well. The cushions get a little bit annoying sometimes, you know, if you're just trying to slouch a little bit. But they're good for lumbar support. Like because
I have the same cushions, but I have mine adjusted to where they work good for my back.
Yeah, so one of my biggest problems, I mean, when I went for physiotherapy, my physiotherapist said to me I walk with an arched back, kind of like Quasimodo, to be honest. So yeah, that's one of my biggest problems. Is sitting in a chair all my life on computers. It really messes with your back. So yeah, have you got anything else to talk about? You said you had one more subject.
Yeah, I got. Let me just show this off. This is the PSP board. Look how easy stuff was back then. And this was 2006, but this is...
Look at how spaced out them components are.
I mean...
Look, they could have made that board so much smaller.
They're tiny components. I mean, they're 0, 1, 5s. Yeah, this board is shot.
That looks a little bit rough.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Oh, you want to see nasty? Do you want to see? Oh, I'm going to beat you now. Watch this. I'm going to beat you now. I've got a Game Boy down here.
Oh, that's going to be gross. That's old. But this has tiny components on it, but they're all so well spaced, and the chips are big.
Bear with me.
But
okay, so why
this is the donor of the 2?
Why?
Oh no, this is the good one of the two.
Why is my microscope not working? Oh, you suck, microscope.
But the problem with this is, like, they put these plastic components. Like, this is a switch.
Yeah.
So you can't heat up any of this stuff. And you can't heat it up from underneath because there's connectors everywhere. I
Yeah,
mean, there's rivet and
that's the
speakers
problem.
everywhere. So
Yeah,
even the
this
port
is.
is, luckily the ones I got, all the ports were good. I mean, they're dirty, but a lot of this stuff is going to be difficult if it needs to be changed. But looking around on AliExpress, you can basically build a PSP from scratch, all but 3 parts.
Yeah.
2 metal frames and a Wi-Fi antenna are the only parts you can't buy.
Yeah, this is pretty nasty. Check this out.
Ugh.
This was water damaged. This was sent.
Yeah.
This was sent by a viewer as a to do as a YouTube video, and it's just too far gone. There's just way too much gone on it.
Yeah.
Like even this power board with the because this board here controls all of the power coming from the batteries. Same as these here. These I should send this to my mate Vince. He'd love me for this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think he'd. I think he'd take on the challenge. But even the buttons, like every single button, is just too far gone. It's just destroyed. Like all of
Is that all one board or is that modules?
Yeah, that's one board. Apart from, I mean, the guy even sent me. The nice thing was he even sent me like a brand new screen, brand new plastics for the screen, brand new brand new replacement back. I mean, this side of the board, where the CPU and stuff is fairly clean. Like that's mint. But then as soon as you come down to start moving down towards the power management side of it, it's just dead. It's just too far gone. But then even the buttons and stuff there's no way I can restore them buttons. So it's just not worth doing. It's not worth my time.
It's going to be hard to find a Game Boy that is not
I mean,
bad, unless you get it from a collector that's taking care of it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I've got the GameCube to work on. I'm waiting for my brother-in-law to come through with some parts, but
I mean, I don't know how many of you watched the first PSP video that came out a couple of days ago. Those 2 I bought were pretty nasty, and pretty dirty. But this one that I got here was from a private seller that took really good care of it. But this, other than dirt in the buttons and the speakers, this is in excellent shape.
I've got a PSP here, I think, which actually it's probably been left outside for 6 months, so it's probably completely dead. Actually, that's something I've got to ask the viewers. So I've got a video which I did this afternoon. So I'm just going to switch to my desktop for a minute. So all we can see is my desktop. But basically, I've got a video which I did this afternoon. It's a Nintendo Switch video. Well, I've got 2 videos which I did this afternoon, rather. I've got this one here, which was a PlayStation 4 Pro. So this was just a 5-volt connector replacement. And this worked absolutely mint. It was absolutely solid. But on top of that, I've also got a Nintendo Switch. I bought a Nintendo Switch for 70 quid. And all I did to repair it, I paid 70 quid for this. It docked. It turned on, docked. But it had basically liquid damage around the backlight ribbon. All I did was scrape back this backlight ribbon. But the problem I've got is I've gone to start editing the footage for both of them. I mean, bear in mind this video here was only 25 minutes and 39 seconds long, from start to finish, with messing around with scenes and stuff. That means I spent no more than 10 minutes on the actual repair. less than 10 minutes. The average is around about a third of the time you're actually doing the repair when I'm filming, because a lot of the time I'm messing around with camera angles, I'm making sure everything's in focus, all of that sort of stuff. So I'll scrape this back, plugged it back in, connected it back up. There's a couple of holes in that ribbon, but as you'll see here, working absolutely fine. All that was wrong with this was the backlight ribbon. Do I do a voiceover on this and still make it into a video? That's a question for chat. Do I do a voiceover for this and still make it into a video? Or do I just scrap the footage, cut my losses? That's the question I've got. I know what you said.
I don't like doing voiceovers, but I don't mind watching it on a video.
I don't like doing voiceovers, but I mean, it seems a little bit like a waste of footage to me if I don't.
It is a waste of footage. That's why the video with my son, that his audio wasn't picked up, I released it anyways, because I was like, well, I took the effort and he was excited to do it. So
yeah,
we fixed the audio in the one that's coming out tomorrow, and you can hear him on it.
Oh, okay. But, see, what you should do really is if you film a video, what you could do is you could record 2 different audio tracks, one for you and one for your son. And then that way then, if you're recording 2 different audio tracks, if, for example, yours is fine but your son's is messed up, or your son's is fine but yours is messed up, then you can separate them audio tracks in editing and actually be able to just edit the audio for that one. So you could make it a little bit, you could increase the gain just on that one channel, if that makes sense.
I'd have to have 2 separate mics for that.
That is true. I just
used the podcast mic that I'm using right now.
Yeah.
And it worked fine. I just loved it. I already have it out for this, so.
I've got a spare lavalier mic if you want one.
No, that's all right. I don't.
I've got a really long one. It's about 20 foot.
Mine's insane long. I have it actually Velcroed. Probably 90% of it is Velcroed together.
Yeah, well, I used to wrap mine up as well.
Yeah.
But I don't use that now anyway. I don't use that one now because it's obviously I've got the Rode mics now.
But this podcast mic, this was like $200-300 Rode microphone for doing podcasts and stuff, but I stopped using it because when you use the hot air or whatever, it didn't sound good.
Yeah.
So I switched to the I can't say the word.
The lavalier mic.
Yeah, that word.
That one.
I switched to that and I seemed to not have any issues, but it turned out I just needed audio filters on.
Yeah.
So I could go back to using this Rode mic, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Vladimir said, do I wish all my repairs turned out like that? Oh, yeah. And Jason, what was it you said to me earlier when I told you about it? You said something you said I suck. That was it.
You said you suck.
You said I suck because I got an easy one and you was down a rabbit hole. I never get repairs that easy. Never. Yeah. It's rare as hell. I've had 2 in the past couple of weeks. I've got the Xbox One X board that's just up there, and I've got the Nintendo Switch which I bought from eBay, which got delivered today. That is the only 2 repairs in probably the last, I don't know, 8 months, 9 months that I've bought that have turned out to be such a simple fix. So you've got to let me have that one.
Light blue screen of death. Yeah. I consider an easy repair now.
Why do you?
I was like, ooh, I got a switch light blue screen of death. I reflowed the CPU, and I'm like, yeah, easy fix.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the easy fix because it's been nightmare after nightmare of consoles. It's just
you could do an even easier fix. You could just do what every other fucker on YouTube's doing and just put a piece of rubber underneath. You could do that. There is an option.
Yeah, really thick thermal pad.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. I've seen that. No.
But yeah, it was like a 20-minute repair, and it was like, wow, this was easy compared to.
Yeah, that's from start to finish. That's from start to finish as well. Like the blue screen of death is just so easy to fix, and you still get to charge like what £60-70 for it. So
$120.
Damn, that's a pretty good hourly rate, I've got to admit.
But but that also includes if it needs to be reballed too. So
yeah, so
I have to do it both ways because the reflow is like 50-50.
Yeah.
50-55, somewhere around there.
Steve said it's worth a watch. It shows the importance of visual checks. Yeah, I'll try and get that across as much as I possibly can. Don't ever start working on a board until you've gave it a visual inspection first. Like, don't just assume that it's going to be a certain thing. Give it a visual inspection before you work on it, and then try and figure out what's going on with it.
I always go through I go through everything if I'm doing a video for it, and then afterwards I go through it again and I test. There's so much stuff I go through testing a Switch now that I don't do on a video.
Yeah.
Because to me it's worthwhile for me to know.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. But I do it because I have seen issues with those things.
Yeah.
That I just check it now.
So one of the reasons
extra.
why I scan over the boards, like one of the main reasons I scan over the board, number one is obviously to see if I can see anything obvious that's going to make my life easy. But number two is if you don't see something, even if that board works, if you don't see something, as I said earlier, if something else fails in a couple of weeks because you've missed a little bit of corrosion, a tiny bit of corrosion around one chip, for example, that's just about starting to eat away at the joints, but hasn't quite eaten away at the joints. Once that's eaten away at the joint, it's going to die and it's going to be straight back on the bench under warranty. And
basically,
even like I said, even if it's completely unrelated, you're still going to end up with that back on your bench because they're going to say, "No, you touched it last. It's your fault. You've got to fix it." That's just the way the customer line works. But they're not technicians. They're not going to link the two things and say, "Well, this is unrelated." They're just going to say, "Well, you was the last one to open, so it's your fault." Look, that's just the way it is. That's one of the downfalls. Vladimir said solder or solder. So I think we need to sort this out once and for all.
I call it solder.
Well, we know what you call it, but the question is, what's the right thing to call it?
I think solder. It doesn't sound right.
So how about apple? You pronounce the L in apple.
Yeah, I understand that there's an L there and you should pronounce it.
So why don't you pronounce it in solder?
Because my whole entire life it wasn't pronounced.
Well,
like I say wash with an R. I know there's no R in wash.
Well,
in wash,
it's
wash. So
I think your parents.
Hello, Jennifer.
All right, I'll give you a perfect example then. In England, we say solder. In Australia, they stand on the beds. And in Australia, they say solder. So that's two different sides of the world who say solder.
Yeah, but wasn't Australia populated by the United Kingdom?
Yeah, kind of. But that was like thousands and thousands of years ago, so...
Yeah. Well, it's like data and data.
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 It's not data. There's no D in it.
Yeah, but that's another example of data and data.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, how about disk? Like when you're
talk like that on the street.
Not dicks. We know how your mind twirls around.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Every time you say that, it sounds like you're calling yourself a dick.
Oh, did you get you turned on? Does it?
No.
Well, Jennifer was. All right. So,
wow.
Disc, as in one of these things. How do you spell it?
With the C, not the K.
What does the K mean?
I have no idea what the K means.
You don't know what the K means?
No.
Wow. You're supposed to be an engineer. Do you want to know what the K means?
What does the K mean? The
K means it's mechanical, so as in like a hard disk. Like it's whereas compact disc is it's spelled DISC because of the compact. Because it's compact.
Well, that's a software thing, a hardware thing.
Well, it's not. It's hardware because it's mechanical versus like tiny little dots on a CD.
See, I do it all with the C. You don't see with the K anymore like you
still
did
use the
with
K.
like the floppy disk drives.
Yeah.
Like back then,
See,
in the 80s and 90s.
See, floppy disk drive, like that is supposed to be spelt C because it's technically still a compact disc. Like it's like kind of one of the first iterations of it. I wonder if you can see the bumps actually on a disc under the microscope. I've never looked at that. Have you? Have you ever tried to?
I never looked at one under the microscope.
Because the way a disc drive actually works, it's got tiny little bumps on it.
Like, I would think the ring light would wash it out.
Yeah, it kind of does, but.
And that looks like a test disc, so that's probably like the worst example you could do.
Oh, it's a test disc, yeah.
Let's see, I got a UMD here.
Yeah, that's scratched up to hell. This one is.
This one doesn't look bad.
Try and zoom in as much as you can and see if you can see the bumps, because that's how they work, right? They're like tiny little bumps on the disc.
Well, you can see how dirty they get.
Oh yeah, they get incredibly dirty. Like this looks clean, like off the scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see the bumps, can you? That sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not coming through on the camera, but full zoom through the optics, you can see.
Can you actually see little bumps through the optics?
Yeah, it kind of looks like an acid wash a little bit.
Well, I've got another one here. Yeah, I can't see them through my optics. My optics are terrible, though.
Like, there's definitely a texture that you see through the plastic onto where, like, the label is. I don't know if that's the label. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm looking at the sticky part of the label.
Yeah.
Or if I'm actually looking at something on the disc itself.
No, you can't. I can't see them. I thought a floppy disk was called a floppy disk because it's floppy as hell. Well, they're actually. It's actually just a film, so it's kind of the same as the old films used to work, but not quite. If that makes sense. No, I don't know why that was called floppy disks. Actually, I don't know.
Well, the original floppy disk, what was it, 5.5, 8.5, whatever it was.
5.5, I think.
Yeah, they were like this big, and the disc material inside the plastic was floppy. It was it was like a melamine floppy material, and then the plastic jacket made it more rigid, and then they went to the compact the 3x5, and that was actually floppy also.
Yeah.
But it was in a harder, thicker thing. It's kind of like they took like what's inside a cassette tape, and they made it into a round disc that the reader would read, similar to.
Well, it was a magnetic. It was a magnetic disc, wasn't it?
It originally there were tape drives, and they used cassettes to store information, and actually used huge reels of tape, magnetic tape, and then they ended up figuring out that you could, get a material and then print on both sides of it, and spin it in a drive to read it with an index on it.
Keith, I didn't get your message, mate, but I'll check it. I'll check it once I finish this stream. The tags won't work on this channel because I haven't got a bot set up for them. I haven't quite set everything up yet on this channel, so sadly the tags don't work. But we've been live for 1 hour, 6 minutes, 11 seconds and counting.
Oh yeah, we're gonna give Jennifer a heart attack mispronouncing everything. Can't stand that, or misspellings.
I don't like misspellings.
Oh, there's one. Aluminium and aluminum. That's another good one.
It's aluminium.
Well, same difference.
So you say aluminum, right?
Actually, I use both terms. I like aluminium.
Yeah.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah. If you think about it, the way people say aluminum, they're completely missing the I out of it. No, the in. They're missing the in off it. So they're saying aluminum, whereas if I was going to pronounce it that way, it should be aluminium.
See, I look at it like aluminum foil is what you cook with, aluminium is what you make things from. Like aircraft grade aluminium, like that is more like a manufacturing product than an end product. So that's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah. Okay, so Travis just said I can spell just fine. But he spelt it all wrong deliberately because he's a troll. Interestingly, you'll be amazed at how versatile the human brain actually is. So, if you was to go onto, does anyone remember them things that was just spammed all over Facebook a couple of years ago, where basically, people they'd have this image with every single word spelt wrong, but the first and the last letter spelt like the first and the last letter was in place, but then the middle was all jumbled up. And the human brain can process it in real time just because the first and last letter are all there. Or at least the average human brain can.
Yeah, Jennifer will show me things, and she's like, can you believe they wrote this? And I'm like, why? It looks fine. And it will be missing a letter. But my brain sees the word as it was intended.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I think it depends on the person, but that's the same with me. If there's a letter missing, I can generally still read it. But J.D. Rose said he or she is a grammar and spelling Nazi.
Yeah, Jennifer is grammar spelling Nazi.
Oh, is J.D. Rose?
Yeah, J.D. Rose is my wife, Jennifer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I have seen a username in chat before, but I just don't remember it. Yeah. I'm terrible with names. As long as the first and last letters are in the right place, people can read it. Or you can read it. Lol. He did that deliberately. Yeah, he spelt it wrong deliberately. Everybody's just trying to throw a brain. You try streaming and reading at the same time. That's difficult.
I can't do it.
That's difficult. I'll tell you what. Actually, try streaming, fixing a board, and reading chat at the same time.
Nah.
Now that is hard.
One or the other.
That is very difficult.
The actually filming part, I still forget that I switch cameras, but I'm way less forgetful now that I turn my Stream Deck into giant red lights when something's on or off.
Oh, okay.
Like when the scene is on.
Yeah.
Like right now, the webcam is on. It's bright red.
Yeah.
So if I turn the am scope on, it's bright red.
Oh, okay.
So I know if it's on or not.
So I've got that on my HDMI switch, so I know what channel's on. When it's on, it turns bright red, which is kind of weird. You'd think they'd make it green, but
yeah. I mean, I picked the background because you can upload your own images, but
oh, okay. I'm gonna do that. I think.
Yeah, it's so much easier. I used a bright yellow font.
Yeah.
And a dark blue background for when it's off, and then when it's on, it's bright red.
Yeah. By the way, you know these things that you said to do with the multi actions.
Yeah.
Rather than switching individual scenes.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. The microscope still plays up.
Yeah, I've never actually used that. I just know you can use it.
Oh, okay. So you made me do it for no reason then.
Well, your issue is you're deactivating the source when it's not active, but the capture card is still activated. No,
because the problem is, it's not actually the capture card what's playing up. I think it's the actual microscope. I think it's a microscope that's causing the issue. I think it's dying, to be honest. I think the microscope camera's dying, so I think I've probably got to buy a new one, but nah.
Oh, you know what? The capture card, that the 4 input one I have, that doesn't deactivate when they're not showing. They're all active all the time. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I never clicked it.
Mine are all active all the time. I like to try and keep them active. But that multi-action thing there, where it just deactivates everything else and activates the, like for example, the front camera, this one that I've got on now, I think it's exactly the same as switching scenes, except I haven't got as many sources available. Or I haven't got as many sources to deal with on one particular scene. Because
I have one scene and then everything is a source.
Yeah, see, the problem is when
two of everything.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, at the minute on this particular source, because I've got so much things, I've got. Let's just count these. How many I've actually got just on this one scene now? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 items just on this one source, just to show this podcast. So I've got 3 images. I've got the audio output, the microphone, the camera background images, a window capture, and then I've got all of the different HDMI sources.
See, I have it set up to where I have the scope big, but I can also have the scope small in the corner.
Yeah. See, the way you've got yours set up now, if you put your scope on now in full screen.
Yeah.
That now, I mean, I can only see, or rather, on the podcast, you don't see that ring that you've got around the.
That's because of that 0.35 Barlow lens thing to give it a wider range of view for the camera.
Yeah, that's a bit. That would tilt me. That 0.35mm Barlow lens.
But if I get like New Retro Repair has that 4K autofocusing camera.
Yeah.
That would do away with that.
Yeah.
You could have it focus that away, because I can actually turn the ring and have to bring the scope up to get rid of that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have a spacer in there, so I can keep the scope lower to the bench.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
I can use it. If I put on my
howdy Michael
0.75 Barlow lens instead of my 0.5,
yeah,
the ring is way worse.
Okay.
Because I have to change the focusing distance.
Yeah. Right, I think we've got time for if anyone's got any questions before we.
Well, the specialty part thing, we were going to talk about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like if you order say someone sends you for example, everybody knows about the projector you did.
Yeah.
If you had to order a donor board for that projector.
Yeah.
How would you go about doing that, for example?
When it comes to ordering special parts, so if I've got to do a repair that I don't normally do, so like let's say for example the customer wants a specific board fixing, like the projector, I know I've got to order a part that I'm never going to use again. Now, I'm never going to use I'm never going to use a HDMI port off a £5,000 projector ever again, because I'm probably never going to get that repairing again. So I've got to go out and order, because I had to order them in a minimum quantity of 5 just to be able to use 2. I charged the customer for all 5, so I added all 5 onto the cost of that repair, because I'm never going to use them again. I offered them to the customer. I said, "Do you want them? You've paid for them. They're yours." And he said, "No, just keep them for spares." But in that case, I do generally charge the customer, sometimes up front as well. So sometimes if I've got to order like a donor board just to be able to get parts off it, I'll charge them. I'll say, "Look, I can order this part. Depending on the cost, I'll order it either out of my own pocket, or I'll tell them that they've got to pay up front. I'll say they need to leave a deposit for parts. Like if I have to order an iPad screen, then I'll make the customer pay up front, no matter what."
Yeah, that's another good example.
Yeah.
Like if you have to order something that's $40 or $50 to fix it, do you take that money up front?
It depends on the cost. I've generally got a £50 cut-off limit, so if it's less than £50, I'll generally order it myself,
Okay.
and then just say pay me afterwards, because a lot of the time, if you're ordering stuff off like eBay, for example, you can send it back anyway. You just get a little restocking fee. So if the customer ends up not paying, I'll just send it back and then sell after so long, because they haven't paid, I'll sell it for spares and make the restocking fee back that way.
Yeah.
But if it's anything over £50, I'm not putting more than £50 out of my own money up front. I'm making the customer pay a deposit for that.
Yeah, I think that's about where 50 US is about where I would put the limit to.
I mean, I think that's fair.
I keep like the limit I would keep in stock would be like like switch LCDs. And
yeah, so if
they're
I've
not
got
expensive, but they used to be like $27.
yeah,
Now they're like 14. But I kept 2 of the $27 ones in stock.
yeah,
Just to keep it in stock. I don't mind stocking something like that, but like I was supposed to be working on a radio from a truck,
yeah.
and if I gotta buy a donor one from a junkyard, do I say, hey, you got to pay for this up front, whether it's fixed or not?
I would say you've got to pay for it up front. Yeah, because I mean the cost of like for example a head unit for a truck. What was it? 1991 is that truck?
Yeah, 1991.
Yeah. So I mean the value of that is spares and repairs. You're not going to make any money back.
No.
You're probably not even going to get anyone that's going to buy it. So I would probably make for specialty parts that are not really worth anything, but the customer's just stubborn and wants it done for the sake of getting it done.
Yeah.
I would say charge up front and say you've got to pay this up front.
That's how I approached it.
Yeah, whether it's
I haven't heard back from him since I said that.
Yeah, whether it's $3 or $30, I would say no. You're paying up front. I'm not putting any money out of my own pocket because I'm never going to use this part. So if it fixes it, it fixes it, and if it don't, then that's on you. You want it done. So yeah, stuff like that. I'd probably say no matter how much it costs, charge up front. Just because.
Well, it was. Here's where he didn't get back to me on.
Yeah.
A tape deck from 1991 is going to need new belts.
Yeah.
All new belts, and there's like probably 10 or 15 in there.
That's a lot of work as well with tape deck. I don't know if you've ever took one apart, but
yeah, I've done belt swaps on tape decks before. That's why I was willing to do it, because I knew that one from 1991 is going to need new belts.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem doing that, but the belts alone were going to be like $75. And if I change the belts, I'm getting paid for it, whether there's other issues that don't work.
I would say, yeah, you've got to charge.
In the end, because you're looking at a 2 or 3 hour job alone.
Yeah.
Just to take it apart and get the belts on.
But if you haven't, if you haven't heard back from that customer after you said you've got to pay up front, chances are, have you got the device with you, or is it?
No. He was. We were arranging the drop off.
Yeah.
And I said that it was going to be like $150 up front for the capacitors and the new belts.
Yeah. See, if he's not got back to you,
he never answered the email. He never answered the email.
He never had an intention of paying you if it was fixed. If it was a no fix. If he never answered that email, he had no intention of paying.
He read it, but
I've had that a couple of times where I've had the device and they've said, yeah, I'll pay the cost of the parts, blah blah blah, and then I've got back to him and said, look, it's a no fix. Like you're still going to pay for the parts, and I'll send you the device back, and I've just never heard back from him. And in the end, I've just ended up selling the parts. See, because it's consoles, I can make my money back on them. But if it's an expensive part, I will make them pay up front, like a power supply, for example, on a PS4
Pro. That's another thing that I charge. If it's a power supply, I charge that up front. Because
they're expensive.
There's just so many variants of it that the chances of that you're going to get another exact model.
See, I've got... Let me just take these off a sec.
To answer your question, Michael,
Whoops.
DC to DC conversions and power systems and industrial electroplating.
Yeah, so for the PS4 Pro right now, I've got 3 working known good power supplies in stock. So I've got 2 there, and I've got 1 there. But if I use
3
these,
out of 10.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 different variants out of them 3. There's 2 unique variants. I've got the I don't know these models off by heart. The ADP 300FR. That's the one with the infinity lead on it, and then I've got the one with the IEC 2-pin, and that is the... Oh, okay, apparently they're the exact same model, ADP 300CR. Huh? But they're different power connectors. That's weird.
Who knows what they did there?
Oh, sorry. ADP 300FR and ADP 300CR. So FR and CR, and then this one is CR again. So I've got three different power supplies, two different variants. Now, as far as I know, there's a third variant for the PS4 as well, for the PS4 Pro as well. So if I haven't got that particular power supply in stock, I mean, these are like 60, 70 quid each. I'm making the customer pay up front for that.
When I was doing, getting stock and stuff, I think I talked to you about, I was like, why are there so many different power supplies?
Yeah.
How does someone stock all those power supplies?
You just don't.
Like Console Repair London, like he does all the power supply swaps.
Yeah.
Like he must have a stock room just full of PS4 power supplies.
He's got a hell of a lot of broken power supplies. He's actually giving them me for free.
Yeah.
He's actually, so if you want some sending just to try, because I know you don't mind working on power supplies.
No, I don't mind it.
Look, he's actually offered me all of his faulty power supplies for nothing. So that's going to come in handy, because
you send me one, I'll do a video on how to.
Yeah, I'll send you some. I'll send you some power supplies.
Yeah, send me some. I'll do a video on how to deal with the power system safely.
Yeah. Well, photo induction just needs to ask the cost up front for obvious reasons. You know what? I've been getting recommendations. I didn't get a recommendation from photo induction for about 4 years. And then randomly out of the blue, all of Photo Induction's videos have come back. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Photo Induction, Jason.
Is that the one? Didn't he just blow a 5,000 amp fuse or something?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Photo Induction is an absolute nutcase, but
yeah, there's no way that
he literally just dropped off the radar. I don't know what happened to him. I know he's done a video saying what happened to Photo Induction, but I haven't watched it. I watched the one with the 5,000 amps. That was just like, that looked really satisfying to do.
That probably cost a pretty penny to generate that kind of power.
Oh yeah, but the weird thing is, I don't think he makes any money off his channel at all. And like, I genuinely don't think he makes any money off his channel. I don't think he's got monetization enabled. But that must cost a fortune.
But that's going to be a hard channel to keep monetized because of the nature of what he does.
He drinks alcohol on the videos, he smokes on the videos, he swears on the videos.
And it's all dangerous stuff that you definitely don't need to be promoting on YouTube, because everybody copies what's on YouTube.
See, I'll smoke in my workshop, but I won't smoke on a video. And if I've done it a couple of times where I've had like a cigarette in my hand and I've flicked the camera by accident and I'm like shit and just snap the camera back. And I don't generally get any issues with it, but like, I don't like to show it on video. Same as every single day when I come out, when I either stream or do a video, right before I do the video, I'll scrub my hands and I'll clean out my nails, because my nails get really dirty. I don't know why, they just do.
It's flux.
It probably is, to be honest. I mean, even now, I've literally been sat in the workshop and my nails have started getting dirty. But not only that, but because I smoke, the amount of nicotine that I end up with on my hand is just disgusting. So I have to sit there with a scourer and scrub my hands every single day before I start streaming, and before and after every single video as well.
Wow.
I don't think you can help it if you're a heavy smoker. I mean, I'm a pretty heavy smoker, but you know.
Dude, you smoke those roll-ups, don't you?
Yeah, that's another thing as well. I smoke roll-ups.
That's gonna leak onto your fingers.
Yeah, it's the roll-ups. To be honest, it's not because it's cheaper that I smoke them. To be honest, it's because normal cigarettes just don't do anything for me. They're just not strong enough. They're just not strong enough for me. I just don't. I'll smoke one, and then all of a sudden, I'll just feel like I haven't had one. So I smoke roll-ups for that reason.
I had an uncle when I was younger, who spent some time on an Indian reservation.
Yeah.
And they grew their own tobacco and rolled it up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was probably like 20, and he gave me one of the cigarettes. I almost died. It's just like not even a full drag, and I was like on the ground.
Yeah, because you used to smoke, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, and it's like I smoked like lights.
Yeah,
and with filters, and that was like just nasty in the lungs.
Try a Polish cigarette.
No, that's okay. I'm good.
They're strong. Polish cigarettes are strong as fuck. They really are. Right, let's just catch up on chat. Michael wants to know what your background is in.
Yeah, I answered it while you were getting the power supplies.
Oh, okay, cool.
We also had, what is the dumbest repair quest asked of you?
The dumbest repair request? PS3s.
Really?
No. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to think about that and get back to it.
I'm going to go with the 1991 radio.
Yeah, for you, that's got to be the dumbest repair you've ever requested.
Why are you fixing a radio from a 1991 truck?
Yeah. I've had some...
just... It's not even vintage or antique. It's
just old. Just because something's old, it don't make it antique.
And you can buy a kit to put any aftermarket radio in it.
Yeah.
For
half the price, cheap. Less than half the price, and it's literally 2 connectors.
And it's not like you have to splice it like you used to do when you put a radio in. They got the cool harnesses that just plug and adapt everything.
Yeah, Vladimir said Polish. That was a question. Oh, come on. Cuban, Hutman, Ligeros, Patagas. These were strung. Now the band. Well, you wonder why. If they're that strong.
I used to smoke Cuban cigars. I was always a big fan of Cuban cigars.
I've tried Cuban cigars. They do rip your chest out a little bit when you first try them.
A little bit. But it depends on what kind you get. I used to get some good ones from a guy who did business in Havana.
Yeah.
And he used to bring me a box back, and they were smooth.
Oh, okay.
Long as you keep them in the humidor, they will stay smooth. I think I actually got a couple still in the freezer.
I'll tell the truth. The last time I smoked a Cuban cigar was I was 16 and a gay bloke was trying to get me drunk and trying to get me into bed. I'm not even joking. I swear that genuinely the truth.
This stream took a turn.
And he gave me a box of Cuban cigars.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave me a box of Cuban cigars. I mean, I took the cigars, but that was all I took, I swear. But
we got to wrap it up, Phil. My food's going to be ready in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah. End it on that note, shall we? Why not?
Yeah. Let's end it on Phil's fun times.
Let's end it on me trying to be groomed by someone.
It's all you.
Cuban toy boy.
Oh, that's.
Let me just tell you something. He didn't get me into bed.
Yeah.
We did it on the floor instead.
Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah. No, I'm joking, but we're gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Think about the bloke who was trying to get me into bed. Memories.
I'm gonna go burn my brain.
Nice. Wasn't called Jimmy, was he? Why do you know him? Oh dear. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out. This has been another episode of On the Mic. I'm going to try and get some guests on soon because Jason is a bit boring, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I have all the topic ideas.
That is very true. He does have all the topic ideas. But I've invited my mate Vince on to here and I'll get a lot more viewers with Vince on.
That is true. That is true.
But no, I haven't actually confirmed anything with Vince. I will say before we go, I have got something in the works with Vince. I've got something very interesting in the works with Vince. So look out for that, but that's going to be a couple of months away. I will see you all tomorrow night on this channel for a couple of hours of gaming, around about the same time, about 8 PM UK time. If anyone wants to hang out and play some Xbox One with me, I'll be happy to jump on a few games of Call of Duty. But yeah, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'll see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.